I have a new idea for a new pastime for you and your little friends. Picnics mongrel style. Rat tail soup, salad made from suspect mutated mushrooms, and constant attacks from cave monsters on all sides while you eat.
That sounds like it will be all the rage next season.
I'm sure a semi would have been proud of you.
Don't speak for the long departed. I've done a lot of things that a semi would not give me a pat on the head for.
You're a good fighter, Regil, but you're unbearably boring after the battle is done. It's probably because you're bleaching.
I'm not here for your entertainment.
What a revolting sight. Lon, what is this slimy thing swimming about in my bowl? Are we having some prized mongrel dish today?
No, but you are. The rest of them are having regular old stew, but I wanted to rustle up something extra special just for you.
You don't see anything shameful in running away? What about the damage it does to your reputation, your name?
Big deal. I'm a thief, ain't I? If I damage my name, I'll just swipe myself a new one.
I still cannot dream, Desna. I have not earned the right. I have not solved your riddle. Well, at least I can stand watch over my friends and guard their slumber.
No.
I didn't even ask you nothing.
You know, I wonder, are you always such a nightmare, or are you making an exception just for us rabble? You probably act differently around highborn folk.
You're quite mistaken, my scaled friend. I don't treat people like dirt because they are of a lower station than I am. I simply treat people like dirt. All of them.
The killing of the dragon was performed impeccably. Your professionalism warrants respect.
I've had to kill demons, minotaurs, and even one inevitable. But dragons, they're a whole other level, both in terms of preparation and in terms of fee. Another couple of dragons and I'll be retiring somewhere warm by the ocean.
Please, I still haven't recovered from that run-in with Darazand, and you've already attacked a dragon and are looking for more. What's next? Discari himself?
It's so sad. The dragon you killed only wanted to get its babies out.
Hand on heart, the first time I saw you face to face, I thought you were like all the other snobs who won't even spare 2 words for people lower than them. But you're all right.
Of course I mix freely with the lower classes. It is the simplest way to enrage the stuffy gatekeepers of high society.
You are a powerful demon. I can sense your strength in your very movements. Oh, how sweet it would be to fight you.
I don't want to fight anyone in our party. I don't want to injure the people who have given me their trust.
Those who perished in Canabres, I still dream about them. Sometimes I see their faces in the crowd. Tell me, this will never be over, will it?
No. The ones we lost, they'll be with us forever.
Looks like it's just you and me, Cherry Roll, alone at last. I've had to hide you from everybody for so long, but now I can finally enjoy— Hey!
Such a tasty treat you stashed away for me, Runt. Today I'm going to act like you don't exist. You're welcome.
Rich girl, I want to know more about your childhood. I am composing an addendum about the lives of illegitimate children of noble families in Avestan. Or is bastards the correct term?
Why, you— Never mind. Taking offense at your lack of manners would be foolish. But one day, we shall take a walk somewhere free from listening ears, and I shall tell you everything. More than you could hope for.
I had a messed up childhood, but sometimes I think back on it fondly. Life was so easy.
You were smaller, so it was easier for you to cut purses and get away without being caught. Am I right? Don't tell me. I know I'm right.
I saw a knight, a young woman, younger than me, but gray-haired and with a fixed gaze, and I realized she's not going to return from this war, even if she survives.
Neither are we, Sociel. Not you, not me. But at least we'll be able to put an end to this war. So no one else will have to go through this.
Bounty hunting. I think I could do well in that.
To succeed, you need to develop at least a minimum level of trust. Keep your word. Is that something you're capable of? I doubt it.
If you weren't an able healer, Noble, I would vote to have you expelled from the party.
Fortunately, no one is holding such a vote.
Pearls of wisdom from Brother Woljif. If you're flogging a fake treasure map, take care that all the islands are where they ought to be. Or if you add some of your own devising, at least give them normal-sounding names. Lands of Woljif the Great isn't a good name, it turns out. Nenio, have you ever tested to see how many times you can change into a kitsune and back in an hour? What do you say we have ourselves a little experiment once we're back in Dresden?
That would be interesting. But this time you'll have to sit still and keep count. After my research into the consumption of rotten apples, some of the people tried to blame me for their coin purses going missing while they were watching the experiment.
Perhaps when you learn more about the surface, you will change your opinion of people and want to be closer to them.
People. Right now, all I see around me are slugs and trash.
You have a strong character. That always attracts weak people who need to latch on to someone else. Don't do them any favors, and don't seek them out.
Me? Strong? Oh no, that's not right. I find it hard to even lift a bucket of water.
I want to drink life in a single swallow, just like you. Teach me, and I will feed you.
Please leave. Even if I knew how to turn you into a demon, I would never do it.
I don't get you, mongrels. Why sit underground waiting and waiting when you can just go outside and get it over with?
The world just isn't ready for our kind of beauty yet. I'm the first emissary of the people who are gonna make the Azamars look positively homely.
You think it is a disgrace to be a Hell Knight. I think it is a disgrace to be anything else in this war. It is the only logical position.
But at what cost to your soul?
You feel sorry for the cultists. What about the demons? Do you pity them as much as their victims?
How can you not feel sorry for anyone? Is there anyone in this world who isn't suffering?
You are a skilled tactician, Greyboar. You should be serving as an officer, not fighting in the vanguard.
No, commanding isn't for me. I can't help it. I just love working with my hands.
Nenio, don't you fear death?
I fear nothing, for fear is the enemy of experimentation. But everyone in the world should fear my death. Coming to terms with such a loss will be arduous indeed.
I'm certain that your past isn't as simple as you say. There must be some dreadful secret that you couldn't bear to live with and chose to forget.
You're mistaken, rich girl. I am a researcher, and I would never choose to forget something significant and mysterious, no matter what discomfort such knowledge might bring me.
If you want to survive, you need to hone your self-control. I can offer you some advice.
A Hell Knight teaching a paladin? Sounds like the start of a bad joke.
How'd you know you don't got long to live? You look healthy enough to me.
But that's because I'm secretly coughing into a lace handkerchief that's becoming stained with blood as my condition progresses.
What, are you planning to spend your whole immortal life living as a beggar? You could win riches, power.
A small amount of riches. That would be nice. I'd give it away to my friends from the River City. They could use it to build new homes after the fire.
You're not a fighter, you're a gardener. I suppose you're a decent enough healer, but you have the soul of a civilian. What are you doing in this war?
What you say is true, and praise Shailen for it. You could say I'm just here to protect my garden from vermin.
Fine, so you ate rats and moss and things like that. Well, once when there was nothing else to eat, my old gran stole a rotten fish from the market and made a soup with it. What do you make of that, eh?
You get that this isn't a competition, right?
You don't have to talk constantly to please people. When you are silent and lost in thought, your face sometimes takes on a most intriguing and appealing expression.
That's got to be the floweriest way to tell somebody to shut their trap.
You are relatively effective in combat. But you lack a true soldier's understanding of service. You only follow rules and commands when you are being watched.
You follow my every move, so how would you know what I do when you're not watching me?
I grew up, but you haven't changed a bit. That's creepy.
I'm not going to change either. I'll always be your friend, even after you die.
I can't be your friend anymore, you got that? I don't even know how to be friends with people. It's not my thing.
Nobody knows how to be friends at first, and then you find some friends and you learn. Want to try again?
Darren, Your Excellency, sir, is it true what they say, that you're next in line for the throne? What'll be the first thing you do if you're crowned king?
I'd issue a law protecting tieflings from persecution, of course. I jest. I would have all the fountains in the land filled with wine instead of water. Don't make that face at me. I know you tieflings will enjoy that little edict, too.
Your skills are impressive, but effectiveness in battle is but the smallest part of what being a Hell Knight requires.
I see you. You people on the surface think you're better than everyone else. If you tried living underground, you'd soon shut up about requirements.
I don't want you to go around telling everybody you knew me when I was a kid. They'll all laugh at me.
But won't they laugh at you anyway? I thought you acted silly on purpose because you liked making people laugh.
Healthy, strong, celestial blood. There are few uplanders with whom I would be willing to breed, but you, golden boy, are on my list.
Breed? You have a preternatural talent for killing off the smallest spark of desire in a man.
Saving people? Defending a pathetic little inn? We should be charging headfirst into the madness of battle and reveling in it, not helping doomed weaklings.
Only dogs run joylessly to play in muck and offal. I always suspected you were no better than an animal.
Everybody's just running around and shouting. How is that madness? Real madness is a nightmare that you can't escape, even when you're awake.
Did you ever consider that you might be one of those doomed souls one day and call for help? You'll be glad of people like us then.
Don't you realize how dangerous it was to jump off that cliff? You could have been killed.
But how else would we have learned whether the amulet of levitation sold to me by that malodorous boy wearing the false beard in that alley was authentic?
I totally forgot the song. What did Papa sing again? The little lamb ran away, lost in the lowlands a night and a day. Tell me where my little lamb's gone, and I will lead him all the way home.
The next part is something about how there's water and hay waiting for the lamb back on the farm. I once had to sing about that blasted lamb 20 times in a row, and she still wouldn't fall asleep. No, she didn't. She just kept watching me and laughing.
This is ridiculous. Give me back my file for my horns. I already look like some kind of wild demon.
Tiefling boy, your horns should be put into the service of science. I will give you back your file once I have recorded the maximum length they grow to when they are not filed down every day, not a moment before.
The consequences of the treachery have been dealt with. Dresden is now under our control, but that is no cause to relax.
We did something that no one has managed to do in 70-odd years. If that's not a cause for celebration, I don't know what would be for a hard-hearted gnome.
I had just started to see you as an actual living being, but you're back to acting like a killing machine.
You are ready to protect everyone day or night, but the demons are gone, and they're not coming back anytime soon. Trust me.
I often had dreams of flying as a child, but after the misadventure with the gargoyles, I can firmly declare that the wonders of flight are vastly overrated.
But you don't have a scratch on you. It seems you managed to charm the gargoyles, too.
Your misadventure was the loss of a fighter at a crucial moment for your fellows. Show some respect.
I'm ever so glad you weren't hoisted up on a hook. Watching the sharp points puncture your skin, the agony twist your sublime features, I could not have borne it.
I will rip apart anyone who touches you, golden boy. I still have plans for you.
You know, I hope this war at least teaches you how to talk to get along with your comrades in arms. I think we've got a decent party here, and you could find yourself some friends.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to kill.
How come you're always picking on me, huh? Am I the only whipping boy around here or something?
I just like the way it sounds when you beg for mercy in that sweet little voice of yours.
I shall pray for every soul in Winterson. I am confident they will be able to find the path to the light.
Maybe we could tell them to go a bit further away so I can have a poke about the houses? What? I was only asking.
I will pray to Iomade for the same thing you're asking of Shaylin.
Winter sun rises late and quickly sets. It probably doesn't matter. It's just a pretty name.
Can you move faster and stop goggling around you like a fool all the time?
But I don't know if I'll ever see these places again. It will be awful if I can't remember anything interesting before I die.
Lon, satisfy my curiosity. Has anyone ever mistaken you for an animal?
No. What about you?
Auntie Magpie baked a bad pie, dropped it flat, made the sky cry, dropped the second, made the rivers dry, dropped the third, now we all die.
I cannot stand demons. If I didn't already know your grandfather was one, I should never have sensed the demon blood in you. You're much too unremarkable.
And you come from Asimar stock, Your Excellency. But I'd say we're each about as angelic as the other.
The world must be cleansed. Starting with my immediate vicinity.
It pains me to think that any living creature could be so dull and predictable. Tell me, Soziel, do you have even the smallest secret? Something unusual that you keep private from the world?
The only thing I hide from the world is my fear, and my desire to throw up my hand and say, someone else can do this. I am not ashamed to admit it. Now it's your turn.
You're a master at drinking and having a good time. Have you ever thought of putting all that to good use? By throwing a charity banquet or something?
My mother used to do such things, but I don't have time for such deathly dullness. Next, you'll be suggesting I traipse around the homes of deserving poor, basket in arm.
Pearls of wisdom from Brother Woljif. When you're on a job, don't go wearing a big sweeping cloak. When you're sneaking about the house, you'll knock over every trinket like an idiot.
My father was always so kind to you, Lan. What would he say to hear you speak to me like that?
What would he say if he knew you'd betrayed your own tribe? I think he'd find that more upsetting.
If I had an estate to spare, I'd bequeath it to you, Wenduog. Hundreds of bachelors seeking a rich wife would serenade you with songs of your unparalleled beauty. It would be like something straight from the stage.
Are you mocking my beauty? Even if it fades, I will still have plenty to take pride in. But what will you do if I cut up your handsome face? Will you lock yourself away in a tower and wallow in self-pity?
The only thing you Hell Knights are good for is killing their own. How many Hell Knights die in peacetime at the hands of their officers?
Peacetime? What's that?
Your confidence, your unequaled talent for temptation. You were considered the most beautiful girl in the tribe, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, and the healthiest for that matter. I could bear many beautiful and strong children, increasing the strength of the tribe.
You're always harping on about how everything's terrible and the suffering's only just started and all that. So why are you always smiling? I don't want my suffering to start. I'd actually prefer it if I suffered as little as possible, thanks very much.
But what you want and how things are, they're two different things, right? Let's not wish for anything and just enjoy what we have now.
I am so weary of carrying my pack. I wonder if some chivalrous fellow would deign to help me.
Most certainly. Wait just a moment while I fetch a commoner to carry it for you. We just so happen to have an overabundance of commoners in our party. I wonder if I tossed some coins on the ground and told you to bark like a dog, would you?
Well, maybe I would, but I won't forget this.
Graybor, are you there? I was sent to tell you that supper's ready. Why are you looking at me like that? Are you sick? Does something hurt?
Run along, Freda. I mean, Ember. Go on. I'll be there now.
A hedgehog has spikes to protect its soft underbelly. What about you? Come on. You can admit it. You lash out at anyone who gets too close because you're afraid of intimacy, right?
My carefully crafted facade lies in tatters. You have unmasked me. I am tormented by my comfortable, luxurious golden solitude. Incidentally, comparing me to a hedgehog was rather charming. From now on, you can call me that if you like.
Isn't it strange that we who move in the upper echelons of society have been obliged to mix with such diverse rabble?
Just look upon it as a trip to a menagerie, my kind lady. I personally plan to regale my acquaintances with tales of this folly for years to come.
Tell me, Woljif, what's the word on the street in Canabras about why Charisme Valensis was named head of the Thieflings?
Word is that she got the job because Brother One Horn had himself a little accident. Hang on a sec.
You care about your soldiers. Lots of people don't like you, but I know you are a kind man.
Of course I care about them. Their combat effectiveness is my responsibility.
I heard you praying to Desna the other night, asking her to send you a dream. I look forward to the day when I finally put you to sleep. What a sweet dream that will be.
I don't entirely understand your meaning, but I sense your hostility and the threat in your words. I'm sorry you see me as an enemy.
You know, Lon, you're almost half cute. I can only imagine what the knife of an experienced surgeon could do for you.
That's a great idea. If we find one, we'll also get him to shorten that tongue of yours and take out your poison glands.
If I were to bisect you right there, where your human and lizard halves meet, it would look quite ridiculous.
If you did that, then each half would grow into a whole new land, and the two of them would give you a double beating. That's mongrel magic for you.
Nenio, why are you trying to calculate the speed of a crowd of peasants chasing after a thief who stole a goose and 2 apples? Who needs to know that?
Oh, it is very important information. If I had known it at the beginning of the experiment, I would have abandoned the heavy goose right away.
Now, Lan, we could slip away together like we used to. Once you hear apart from me, the other women are afraid of you.
Yeah, sweet as ever, Wendu, but I'd cut my hand off before I'd ever touch you.
When you were little, you had the funniest little stubby horns. Did it hurt when they started growing?
Damn things itched like crazy.
It all happened so fast. Now instead of a tidy city and a cheerful fair, there are only ruins and flames, and countless people who have had their faith shaken by this.
Aren't you one of those unfortunates? That a nice little town can be destroyed in the blink of an eye. That's a true test of faith for a priest of Shaylin. Yes?
Everything's burning, tumbling down around our ears, but my old grand shack is still standing. I don't know about everybody else, but at least I'll have a place to come back to.
I assure you, my faith did not waver even for a moment. My only concern is, what will the future bring me? Will it be too dull?
Battle, flames, the smell of blood. People on the surface know how to enjoy themselves.
When Iomade became a goddess, her friends probably missed her a lot, huh?
They would have been happy for her, silly. She turned into a goddess. It's not like she moved to Garand.
Mongrel girl, your account contradicts what other people have told me. Are you sure?
Absolutely. You probably talked to some liars who've never even seen a cave lizard before. They are actually very friendly creatures, and they love to be petted.
A gnome used to live on the street with us. He was gray and pale, just like you. He would get in tavern brawls all the time. To live longer, he said. But he got killed in one of those fights.
Only cowards run from death. You can't escape it, no matter what. It's better to face it than let it stab you in the back.
You're forever going on about this brother of yours. Don't you have any care for what's happening to you?
If he's alive, he'll hear about it. And he'll be cheering along with us.
You know, I've been thinking the same thing. About how many mongrels the gods didn't allow to live to see this moment.
Regil, have you ever seen a real devil? What did he look like?
A weakling that folded after the first hit.
Hey, freak. You know a lot about everything. What method of torture is the simplest, but also the most painful?
Of the methods that can be performed in field conditions, crushing fingers with a rock and branding with a piece of wood from the campfire. I also found eating hot coals to be especially unpleasant. Alas, building a sufficient base for comparison is grueling but necessary task.
After visiting her laboratory, I must say I am seeing Arilu Vorlish with fresh eyes. I do respect her talents in a way. Some of them.
Exceptional magical talent and a voracious intellect wasted on demonic perversions. There is nothing to respect about that. Arilu Vorlesh must be destroyed.
The only part that I liked was the room that showed us the future. I can't wait to see my future for real.
At some point, I thought that there was no way back for us, and it pained me greatly.
Do you know what would be nice? If we didn't die in the crusade. After, yes, if we win. But if we die before that, that would be bad. You will try not to die, won't you? Although I suppose it will be hard.
Sometimes I'm more afraid of you than Baphomet.
Hey, you, freak. My name is Wenduag. Wenduag. Remember my name. Soon the whole world will know it.
When that happens, that's when I'll remember it too, mongrel girl.
Do your tiefling friends tease you about your shadow? I remember how upset you used to get when you were little.
Stop acting like we know each other. Only a pathetic idiot would be friends with a crazy beggar. You got it? That ain't me.
You kill differently to the hunters of our tribe, dwarf. Teach me a few of your techniques.
I would, but you're one of those students who takes their final exam by slitting the teacher's throat.
Life can change in the blink of an eye. Yesterday, I was thinking I had it all figured out. No surprises for me. And now today, I'm dragging myself someplace with a gang of, strangers.
Did you say gang? I shall say this only once, thief. I do not wish to be viewed as a member of a gang.
What about me? I'm not a stranger, am I? I remember when you were little, you threw rocks at me like the other boys. See? We even have some shared memories.
Yeah, I understand. This whole gang thing just kind of fell on top of me, and now I'm here.
You should be pleased. More fighting means more riches. Isn't that what you're after?
This is not the end. Canabras did not fall. It will survive this and be rebuilt. Better than before.
And it will be the same dull little provincial town. Dullness never dies, it seems.
I already miss it. My life in Canabres may not have always been happy, but I found ways to amuse myself.
People excel at forgetting their own. Forgetting people like us under the ground. Or you freezing outside their window.
It's not their fault. Who can think of another's pain when they're hurting and afraid all the time?
Still hate me, Lan.
No more than anybody else in our party does. Well, no, there's one difference. You don't make the rest of them want to throw up.
I just thought if they all in Wintersun just died, they wouldn't have to suffer anymore. And then I thought pain passes eventually, and that's when the strength to live on appears. It's all so complicated.
Everyone will have their own opinion on Wintersun, but I think what matters most is that the people of Wintersun decide for themselves.
I would recommend burning the village to ashes, but my words would surely fall on deaf, victory-drunk ears.
The Kellids trained to fight and die like warriors, but in the end, they were just toys in demon hands. The same thing could happen to any of us. We cannot abandon these poor people.
Your so-called work is pure nonsense. Who in the world needs these books?
You might change your opinion, mongrel girl, if you learn to read. But until then, you were right. They are useless to you.
When the war is over, we could take you to Keonan, to your mother.
My mama is an elf. She can wait for me however long it takes. But your mama can't wait that long. Maybe you'd better hurry back to her.
These Nahindrian crystals are right little beauties, no mistaking it. It's like they're beckoning to me. They look expensive and all. I wonder how much I could get for one of them.
I will make sure that your pack and your person are thoroughly searched every day, thief.
These crystals are like the girls who used to throw rocks at me. So pretty. But they don't know the harm they're doing.
Those crystals would look superb in a tiara. And a tiara would look superb perched atop my golden head.
I think you must be the only demon who's decided to be good. Is it really so hard for your kind?
I guess most demons don't even consider the possibility.
You had this funny look on your face back in Canabris when you were watching the poor little kids whose houses had been burnt to cinders. Were you missing the days when you weren't weighed down with armor? Back when you didn't take orders from nobody?
I do get sad sometimes when I see little kids and remember my childhood. Not because I miss the freedom of running wild in the slums, but because I remember my life before then, before I became an orphan.
So, the point of their jokes is that I'm half lizard, half man. Like I have two natures. That's why all the jokes play on words involving the number 2. Two-faced, two's company, in two minds. Get it?
I think I understand. This is what mortals call a double entendre, yes?
Plenty of people ask me about my work, but none with as much interest as you. Why is a sheltered girl like you so interested in murder?
My interest lies in daring men who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
I packed up your tent, I washed out your bowl. Do I look like a servant or something? Don't think you scare me. I ain't scared of you.
When you stop shaking like a leaf and get that tail of yours to lie still, maybe I'll believe you.
We're all sitting around a warm fire. We have yummy food. The night is quiet, and nobody is trying to kill us. It's nice, isn't it?
We're sitting around a fire that is visible for miles. We're too tired to fight, and it's gone too quiet. Almost like someone is watching us. But, do you know what? It's not all that bad.
Well, what's it like to sleep on the ground and subsist on rations? It must seem like torture to you. Nobles wouldn't normally sink so low.
Hardly. Do you know how my antecedents amassed all the wealth I now enjoy? They slept on the ground and subsisted on rations until they got what they wanted.
Hey, is it true that you Shaylin clerics go around looking for a pretty girl and start falling over yourselves to worship her? And if you bring the pretty girl back to the temple, you get paid cash? Okay, so here's the deal. We catch a succubus, bring it to the temple, and split the payout. Hang on, why are you laughing?
I'm not. It's just a cough.
Lon, can you please explain why mortals insist on so many different forms of address? Sir, madam, my lord, I can barely keep track of them all.
You know, I ask myself that same question. I think it's just a stupid Uplander custom. Sometimes I get the feeling that mortals make their language as complicated and confusing as possible to make outsiders easy to spot.
Pearls of wisdom from Brother Woljif. If you're gonna be napping dogs, go for the smaller ones. The smaller the pup, the bigger the ransom.